Mark Miller has a job too.
Here to serve.
Justice serves. What a wonderful family. Would you raise your right hand and state your name?
I, Jennifer Schilling,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a state senator
as a state senator
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
These are the joys of young families. I've got Zach here behind the podium trying to crawl in. Well, first, let me say a huge and sincere thank you to Chief Justice Shirley Abramson, who has been a family friend for many years. As she said, she likes lawyers. My grandfather, Nathan Weezy, was a lawyer, a DA, and a judge in Waupaca County, serving on the second branch of the circuit court up in Waupaca County. So she has known my grandfather and my grandmother, who you were pen pals with my grandmother Joyce, and so I grew up having the utmost respect for Chief Justice Shirley Abramson, as she was a family friend and knew generations of my family. So thank you. It was so nice to have you here in 2000, and it is a great honor to have you back here in 2011. So thank you very much. And to have my good friend, Senator Mark Miller. It is an honor to have you here, and I look forward to being your colleague in the State Senate. And you traveled many, many miles this past summer, and I thank you for your time here in Western Wisconsin, for the leadership that you have exhibited and demonstrated here in Wisconsin during very tumultuous times. And I look forward to serving in the State Senate and look forward to calling you my colleague. And to Senator Mark Meyer, my good, dear friend. It started many, many years ago as I worked for you in the State Assembly. We were friends before that. I worked on his campaign, worked with him, worked for him in the 95th Assembly District. And then he moved on to the Senate, and at that time was an opportunity to run for the Assembly in 2000. And during that day in 2000, over in January at UW Cleary Center, Mark and I were both sworn into our new offices by the Chief Justice. And you have been a very, very good and dear friend and confidant and mentor, and I thank you so much for being here. And I look to your example that you were an outstanding state senator here representing the good people of Western Wisconsin. So thank you for being here today, Mark. And to my family that is here, thank you so much for your loving commitment and support. Chris's family, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a wedding. Chris's family's on this side of the aisle. My family's on this side of the aisle. Last night I felt a little bit like a nervous bride, like I was leaving one family to join another. But I can assure you I'm not going to be a runaway bride. I thank my family for their love and support, for the endeavors that I've taken on, the sacrifices that they make as well, because I put my name on the ballot. It doesn't necessarily mean that they put their name on the ballot, but it also is an indirect way that they are out there with me at different events and the sacrifices that Chris makes and the boys make. And I can say after a long day on the campaign trail, it was always so welcoming to come home to the shrieks of a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old who were hugging me around the legs and wanted to play in bedtime stories. And so I thank you very much for loving me, Chris, and for the strong support that you give me and the boys. So thank you very much. Senate District. It is my great honor to represent you, and I look forward to getting to know you and working with you to create a greater, stronger Wisconsin. From the Cooley region to the Kickapoo Valley and all along the Mississippi Valley, I am eager to be your state senator. People ask why this location. I think the background speaks for itself, but I think the Cooley region is so tied to its identity with the strength of the bluffs and the movement of the rivers. And if it's a tributary into the Mississippi River here on the banks of the Black River, water is so important here in western Wisconsin. We identify with it. And as I've heard good friends of mine have had the example of that time can change things. But the bluffs are sturdy, they're rock solid, they really are not forgiving, they don't change much over time. However, the waters here in western Wisconsin, the Mississippi River, it is forgiving. It ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. And when there are challenges in its way, it finds a new path around it. And I see this community as one that rises above those challenges. We find new pathways, and we will have ups and downs as we move forward in our legislative debate. We will have ups and downs that at times I feel like we may be swimming upstream, and there will be other times that we will be taken away with the current beyond our control. But I think here on the banks of the Black River and on the Mississippi River, we find our strength, we find what moves us, and we find that identifying factor in the way that we address the challenges and the opportunities here in western Wisconsin and in Wisconsin. It has been a tremendous honor and privilege to represent the 95th Assembly District. And I cherish the many memories that I have in serving the residents of La Crosse. It was about 7 o'clock last night when I was at Quick Trip getting gas, and I looked at my watch and it dawned on me that I had resigned 2 hours ago and that I was no longer the state assembly person from the 95th. And I came home a little melancholy to Chris that it just was sort of unfamiliar to say that I was no longer the proud state representative of the 95th Assembly District. And having first been elected in the state assembly in 2000 and having been re-elected 5 times and now elected to the state senate, my experience in Madison has always been a positive one. And I still look forward to each time I enter our beautiful state capitol. And as I explained to our 5-year-old son Nate, that I still work in the Capitol and I still get to represent the good people of western Wisconsin, I'm just moving to a different room in the Capitol to do my work. But I am keenly aware of the greater responsibility of the office and the diversity of the district and the broader legislative stage that I now have set foot onto. While the scenery may be a little different and new, many of the plot lines or issues remain the same. That we must invest in a Wisconsin that encourages innovation, collaboration, and cooperation among the many partners in education, healthcare, industry, agriculture, and our environmental interests. With my experience in the Assembly and my time on the Joint Finance Committee, I believe that that experience has prepared me well for the new challenges that lie ahead. I know that I now stand in the long shadows of the public servants who have served our region so well in the state Senate with distinction and honor. I also want to thank Senator Dan Kapanke for his years of service to the residents of the 32nd. On election night, he wished me well and said that serving the residents of the 32nd District is one of the highest honors. And I, too, have that privilege now to know the honor of such former senators as Brian Rood, Mark Meyer, and Dan Kapanke. I wish him well in his future endeavors, and I know he will continue to serve this community in an important and valuable ways. As we have done together for the past 10 years in the Assembly, we will continue to foster an environment that